Thank you so much for joining us today at Everyday Yoga. My name is Christine. My pronouns are she and her, and this is a recording of a live Zoom class. There's lots of energy flowing in the world today, some of it positive, some of it negative, but we are all made of energy, and the energy that surrounds us is just sometimes in need of clearing. So let's just take a couple minutes here at the beginning of our practice to clear our energy, whatever that looks like to you. If you want to be standing up and join me here and just spread your arms really nice and wide, and maybe wrap your arms around your shoulders and give yourself a little hug. Maybe take a big breath in through the nose and a nice big exhale through the mouth. Hug yourself a little tighter. And maybe gently move a little bit, rocking yourself gently from side to side. Nice and slow, nice and fast. Or maybe just finding stillness here. Pressing your feet onto the earth. Or maybe you want to open it up a little bit and let your hands come down to your sides and take your feet a little bit wider on your mat and just gently kind of bend your knees softly and sway from side to side. Take some big breaths in, and when you exhale, just drop them like a heavy book, like you are just done with that breath. Maybe swing your arms. Maybe just let them kind of fly and float up. Maybe close your eyes if you're comfortable with that, or just keep a soft gaze. Maybe get your head and your shoulders involved, or maybe stay there in your stationary hug. And if that does not feel good to you and you're ready to get down on the floor or take some other pose here, then honor that in yourself and take care of yourself and do what needs to be done. And then we'll slowly come back to center. Invite you to join me in bringing the feet underneath the hips here, and just take another deep breath in and bring the hands to the belly and let the breath go with a nice big sigh. And just notice your energy after that little bit of movement. Maybe take your hands and gently rub down on the belly, or maybe it feels better to rub upward, bringing the energy up towards the heart from the root, from the earth. Maybe it might feel good to take your hand on your belly and then bring the other hand on top and just kind of take the hands around in a nice big circle in one direction. And then the other. And just get curious and see what feels good here. We judge our guts so harshly in our culture here. And we should be trusting our guts. We should be trusting ourselves and our intuition. And we shouldn't be shooting ourselves either, for that matter. But just bring your hands to stillness on your beautiful belly, a belly that encompasses all of your internal organs, your intestines, your liver, your gallbladder, your whole entire digestive system, keeping you functioning right here. And let's take another nice big breath, spreading the arms wide. And let's hug our arms around ourselves again, this time bringing the opposite arm on top. And just hold yourself here. Maybe letting the shoulders come down, letting the elbows be heavy, maybe taking the chin towards the chest gently and getting a nice little stretch in the back of the neck. Breathe here, expanding through the backs of the shoulders. And softening with every exhale, allowing the shoulders to come down away from the neck, away from the ears. And then maybe rock yourself a little gently from side to side, getting just a little gentle twist through the midsection, through the guts, aiding the digestion that happens in there. Maybe releasing the arms and just allowing them to float again from side to side. Maybe if you want to get a little warmer, you might bend the knees here. You might want to bounce a little bit, shake a little up and down and let the head and the neck and the shoulders get into it. Or you may want to take some time to just dance. Just be free and just dance it out like they do on Grey's Anatomy, or they used to when Christina was there. But still, good times. Just dance it out. Do whatever it takes to just clear your energy and bring a smile to your face. And then when you're ready, come back to some stillness. Come back to a nice tall mountain if you're still standing here with us. If you're lying down on your mat, just tuck the chin gently. Draw the collarbones away from one another and draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Notice your mat underneath you, whether it's underneath your feet or underneath your back. And know that this mat is your place. You control what happens here. So much in this life we cannot control. But what happens on your mat, you can control. If all you did was lay on your back and breathe for 60 seconds, you would still be giving yourself a great gift. Just a moment to let your mind and your body rest and restore. So either join me physically or maybe imagine in your mind's eye, just inhaling and raising the arms up alongside the ears. And exhaling, hands down to heart center. And then let's all come all the way down to the mat. However you want to get there, make your way down slowly, intentionally, and with kindness for yourself. Or you might want to join me in inhaling the arms up to the sky, coming to the front of your mat, hands through heart center, diving all the way down into your forward fold, Uttanasana. And maybe just cradle your elbows with your palms. And let the head be heavy here. Maybe bend the knees really generously here. And just frame the face with your arms. Inhale, nice and big. Feet can be parallel and hip distance, or you might want to take your feet out a little wider and create some space for that belly and those breasts. And just allow yourself to be here now, breathing into the back body. And just let the upper body be heavy. Maybe rock a little gently from side to side. And then when you're ready, maybe come down into a nice low squat, taking the feet as wide as the mat. Just kind of rock yourself all the way down to your mat, coming down to your back. If you want to add a little core strengthener here, you can stretch the arms out with the soles of the feet on the earth, knees pointed up towards the sky. Just roll yourself down to the earth, one vertebra at a time. Knowing that Mother Earth is right underneath you to catch you, and then just reach your arms up overhead, stretch your toes out nice and long, wiggle through the fingertips, get really long in one side and then really long in the other side. Take a nice big inhale here, and on an exhale, bring one knee and then the other in towards the heart, and wrap those hands around the knees, and either keep the legs parallel here or maybe take them out nice and wide. And just rock gently from side to side. Maybe let the knees come away from the body a little bit and get into that upper buttock area and the low back, massaging here. Or maybe you want the knees a little closer to the heart and massaging the middle of the back and the shoulders. And then let's take both feet back down to the mat and bring them as wide as the mat. Knees point up to the sky and just kind of fall in towards one another. And just kind of wiggle your feet around until you can find a place where the knees just rest against each other effortlessly. Maybe that's feet farther away from the body. Maybe that's feet closer in, but just where your knees can support each other. And then bring one hand to the heart, or as near the heart as you can get, while keeping your upper arm just anchored and resting down on your mat. And then with your lower arm, bring your hand to your belly, resting both arms on the mat, palms open, fingers spread wide. And just maybe join me in setting an intention for our practice together today to be compassionate to yourself. Maybe you can just step back from yourself for just a moment. Looking at yourself maybe as if you are Mother Earth. How do you think Mother Earth would perceive you? As part of nature, as just as much a part of nature as the beautiful pine trees and the roses and the birds and the kitty cats and the puppy dogs and the rivers and the oceans, the whales. We are all together part of nature, working together to create balance. We all need to be here. We are all here to be part of this huge earthly project. So maybe looking at yourself with the eye of Mother Earth, of a mother that loves unconditionally, that is always there to catch you when you fall, that supports you with food and water and fresh air, that surrounds you with abundant life, wouldn't you look on one of your creatures, every one of your creatures, with love and kindness and generosity and compassion? In an ideal world, we would all have earthly mothers like that, and we would all be earthly mothers like that. But if you can step away from that just long enough to recognize that we can tap into that universal divine love that we all share, that we're all worthy of, that we're all a part of, and just give yourself that same kind of compassion, that same acceptance. I think about my car sometimes when I think about my body. Lying here, breathing with you, I want to share with you my car is a 14-year-old Prius. She has lots of scratches and dings, and her upholstery has stains, and her leather is worn away. Well, probably pleather, I hope. The floor mats are all worn through, and there's just lumps here and there. But she still gets me where I want to go. And I love my car. I pat her when I walk by. I'm grateful to her for all that she does for me. She gets me where I need to go. And I try to think of my body like that car. I am not my body any more than I am my car. I am the soul within me. I am the heart and the creator within me. I am the love within me. But my body gets me around. And she might have some weathering, shall we say. But I love her and she's mine. And so maybe you can invite yourself to love your body the way you love your very not perfect children, or your very not perfect significant other, or your very not perfect cat that hacks hairballs on the floor. And just love yourself, your whole entire self, with that same kind of unconditional compassion. Go ahead and find some movement here that supports you, whatever you feel you need in your body. Or join me in spreading your arms out nice and wide into a T, and just rocking your knees gently from side to side, windshield wipering them. And maybe you take your gaze over one shoulder as your knees go to the opposite side. Inhaling the knees and the gaze up to center, and exhaling the knees and the gaze from either side. And then find a way, with compassion for yourself, to flip yourself right on over. Whether you want to gently roll yourself to one side or the other, or you want to rock and roll up and down the spine, giving yourself a nice big massage. Or something I haven't thought of that you could do to rock yourself over onto your belly. And we're going to come all the way to the backs of the mat. And we're going to bring the big toes together. And if it feels good, take the knees as wide as the mat and push your hips all the way back to your heels. And then either come down to your mat or maybe take a hold of a bolster or a block or a pillow or blanket or something and put it under your belly. Excuse me, a little burp there. Little clap for my editor guy. And we're going to crawl all the way out, bringing the forehead to your block or bolster or down to the mat and come into child's pose. Take a nice big inhale through the nose and let it out through the mouth with a nice big sigh. Bring compassion to this pose through using your supports. Maybe surrender this pose. Think of surrendering the desire that your body could be anything different than what it is right now. And surrender instead to acceptance, maybe even gratitude. And maybe take another big cleansing breath, inhaling through the nose and letting it go through the mouth. And as you let it go through the mouth, just allow the body to become really, really heavy. And then let's walk our right hand over to the edge of the mat, or maybe even off the edge of the mat. And then anchoring the left sit bone down to the left heel, stretch the left palm alongside the right palm. You might want to even bring the left palm to the back of the right hand. And pressing into that left hip, really press down onto that left hand and inhale into the left side body, getting a nice big stretch. Breathing into the left lung, into the left nostril, into the left hip, finding expansion. And exhaling to soften and allow the arms to be heavy. And the next time we inhale, we'll just walk the hands over to the left side, coming through center. Anchor that right sit bone down towards the heel and get nice and long through the right side body. Inhaling and exhaling expansion and softness, making space in between all the ribs and noticing the stretch all the way from the fingers down through the upper arm and the armpit and the ribs, all the way down into the hip. Another big breath here. And then we'll walk the hands back to center. And we'll come on up into a quick tabletop here. Bringing the knees underneath the hips. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders. Pressing into the hands and knees and lengthening from the tailbone all the way through the crown of the head. Let's just find a few cat-cows here. Inhaling into your cow pose, dropping the belly, lifting the heart and the tail. Exhaling into your cat pose, bringing the belly button up to the spine and rounding the back. Inhale, cow, bending the elbows and drawing the heart forward, and exhale, cat, letting the head be heavy and the crown come down towards the earth. And then find a way to bring compassion to these movements for yourself. So you might want to look back over the right shoulder, And then look back over the left shoulder. You might want to let the head come down and be heavier. Maybe roll the spine a little bit and get into the neck and the shoulders, rolling up through cat and down into cow. Or you might want to go in big circles, coming down through the right side body, back to child's pose, and then up into cow. Just find what feels really good for you here. And when you feel like you've had enough movement there, go ahead and take your elbows right down to the mat where your palms were. Bring those shoulders right up over the elbows. Palms out in front of you, forearms parallel. And then maybe begin to just walk the knees back just a little bit, coming down into happy puppy pose. Heart opening pose, Anahata Asana. Anahata is heart in Sanskrit. And we'll just let the forehead come down to a block or to your mat and get really long in through the upper arms, really pressing into those elbows and making space in between the shoulder blades and lifting the tailbone up towards the sky, just like you did in cow pose. Inhale here, getting a nice little back bend, which is so important for opening up the heart and bringing compassion into your life. Inhale into those shoulder blades and exhale to melt the heart towards the earth. One more full breath here. And then we'll come all the way forward onto the belly into Sphinx pose. You might want to bring a blanket or towel or something very cushiony but not too thick underneath the rib cage here, just to give yourself a little soft place for those ribs to be. And just come up into your nice soft Sphinx here. And if this feels uncomfortable on the low back, take the feet out as wide as the mat or as wide as feels good in the low back, or you can keep them parallel here. And let's just breathe. And as we inhale here, instead of focusing on the back body, let's focus on the belly, just pressing gently onto the earth. And just let your mat give your internal organs a nice little gentle massage here. Inhaling to expand and massage the belly. And exhale, and just allowing it to be soft. Let go of any tension in the legs, in the buttocks. Press down into those elbows as you continue to breathe and draw the shoulders away from the ears. Kind of draw the heart forward in between your upper arms here. Getting a really nice back bend, opening up through the heart, allowing in all that compassion, all that divine love from Mother Earth. All that divine love from your own internal mother, be you whatever gender you may be, we can all stand to mother ourselves. And then let's go ahead and bring the chin down to the chest and just get soft through the shoulders and the elbows and just kind of let the head hang here. Continuing to breathe into that belly. Maybe rock the ears from side to side and get a little bit of a stretch there in the back of the neck. Lingering wherever it feels good to you. Again, where can you find some compassion here? Is there a tender place that you can bring a little extra love to, a little extra breath? And then let's go ahead and lift the head back to the top of the spine. And we'll bring the hands alongside the upper ribs here. And let's send the left arm out to the side, perpendicular to the side body. And you can't really see my left arm, so I'll show you on the right arm. So my left arm is out to the side just like this. And I'll do it from that side so you'll see it from the back too, but I think it'll be easier to show you from the front the first time. So out to the side, and if that's not comfortable for you, you might want to just have it up alongside your ear, straight out overhead. So try it on the side first. And again, if that's not good for you, make some adjustments that are, because we're going to get a nice big stretch across the front of the chest here. So we're going to press into the right palm, and we're going to push ourselves up onto the left side here with that left arm back behind us. Stacking the heels, stacking the ankles, stacking the knees, stacking the hips here. Maybe this is enough here, and you might notice some sensation in that right hip. You might notice a lot of sensation in that left shoulder. And if you're here with the arm behind you and it becomes uncomfortable or painful, definitely straighten it out alongside the ear overhead. But focus on that nice big stretch across the front of the left shoulder, the sensations along the right hip maybe. If you want to go a little deeper here, you can bend the right knee and turn it up towards the sky and plant that right sole down on the mat or on the floor behind the left leg. And that might be behind the thigh, behind the knee, behind the calf. See what feels good for you. And then just allow that right knee to kind of come away from the body. Stretching the hip open, maybe rocking gently from side to side. If you want to get a little deeper into the front of the thigh, the quadricep here, you can bring that bent knee back down towards the left knee and reach back with that right hand for the right ankle, and then really hug that right knee down in towards center. And if you want a little pillow here for the head or a block or something, like I am finding myself needing, definitely grab that. And just really flex through that left foot and draw that right shoulder blade down away from the ear. Maybe close your eyes and think about pressing that right foot into the right hand, kind of doing a sideline dancer's pose here. Breathe into the front body, wherever you are, whether your legs are stacked or you're here in sideline dancer's pose, or you're here in fallen tree pose. Take another big breath wherever you are, and then restack the legs. Roll back onto the belly. Bring the hands alongside the upper ribs again and tuck the chin, and we'll just take a few little baby cobras here to just even things out. Drawing those elbows toward one another, drawing the shoulder blades down towards the back pockets, pressing into the hands, lifting up the heart and the gaze, and then exhaling to bring it back down to the earth. And again, we'll lift like a wave, inhaling and exhaling to lower like a wave. And one more time, inhale to lift, drawing the shoulder blades down the back, and exhale to lower. And then we'll go ahead and do it the opposite side. And I am gonna show you my butt here on the channel, but only so you can see what I'm doing with the back of my body and you can support yourself there. So here you go, internet, it's my butt. We're bringing the right arm behind us, pushing into that left hand, rolling up onto the right side body, stacking the ankles, stacking the knees, stacking the hips. And maybe just staying here, or again, stretching that right arm up overhead alongside the ear, maybe resting the head to the bicep. And just noticing what you feel here in this kind of slightly awkward position. We don't typically lay like this anywhere. You might notice some sensation in that left hip, certainly in the right shoulder. And maybe you want to take that fallen tree pose, bending the left knee and planting the sole of the hip behind the left leg, pointing the knee up towards the sky. Fallen tree pose, Vrksasana. Maybe rocking the knee open and closed gently. Or maybe reaching back behind to take a hold of that left foot or ankle and then really actively drawing that left knee in towards the right and then getting long through the front side body, pressing the foot into the hand, sideline dancer's pose. Finding a place where it's just, if you really get some sensation of opening, where you can breathe into that area and breathe compassion into that area. Only goes so far or so deep into a pose as your body thrives on. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. If you don't have 100% peace about it, don't do it. We'll inhale here once again. Exhale to release and roll back onto the belly, bringing the palms alongside the ribs and bringing the tops of the feet to the mat and pressing into the earth, drawing the shoulders back and the elbows towards one another. We'll inhale into our low cobra, or maybe a little higher cobra, opening the heart, and exhale to float downward towards the earth 2 more times. Maybe lifting from the back of the heart. Inhaling up into your cobra, lifting from the back of the heart. Staying here for a full breath, radiating that heart forward and exhaling all the way back down before we push up into tabletop. Curl the toes under, press the sit bones towards the heels, stretch the arms out long into a nice long extended child's pose here. Inhale, getting wide and taking up space into the side body and the back body. And then we'll exhale here, turn the tops of the feet down to the mat and begin to roll the spine up 1 vertebrae at a time. Unfurling from the earth like a new blade of grass. Lifting the heart, drawing the shoulder blades and the elbows down the back, tucking the chin. Taking another couple of cleansing breaths here, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. One more time. And then let's just find a nice, comfortable seat here for a little pranayama, a little breath practice. So you can sit in Sukhasana, feet crossed, Dandasana, up on a cushion. I'm gonna sit in hero's pose on my 2 blocks stacked one on top of the other. And just settle yourself down here where you can just hang out comfortably for a moment or two. And we're just gonna get nice and long through the spine and let the shoulder blades come down the back and let the shoulders come away from the ears and the tips of the ears draw up towards the sky, and maybe close the eyes if they're not closed already. And let's just take a moment here to acknowledge in the beginning of 2022 that there have been a lot of challenges the last, I was gonna say a couple of years. For some of us, it might be 5 or 10 years. For some of us, it might be decades. There have been challenges and difficulties and traumas and grief, loss, sadness. Let's just take a moment here to acknowledge those things and to acknowledge that sometimes we react with fear or anger or tears or sadness. And let's just accept that that's part of being human and not judge ourselves so harshly for those reactions. Let's just bring a little bit of compassion to that. Not to judge others, not to judge ourselves, not to compare ourselves, not to compete, but to accept and love and be compassionate too. And then let's just, for the sake of balance, bring our attention and our awareness to the good things that have happened. And that might be a challenge for some, but even if there's just one good thing, 2 good things you can think of, even if it is as small as just here we are breathing together, or as wonderful as having a roof over our heads or a bed to sleep on, tea to drink in the morning, or maybe even more wonderful, having a companion like a pet to hang out with us, or a kid or a boyfriend or a wife or whatever you might have in your life. Maybe it's sunsets. Maybe it's your sister or your daughter or your best friend. And let's just focus on those things that bring a smile to our face. And focus on the awareness of this balance, this yin and yang of life. It's just simply a condition of life. And just as much as those beautiful, positive things don't last, and we need to appreciate them when we have them, those difficult, challenging things don't last either. All we have right now is right here, right now. So in this time together, let's just do a nice balancing breathing practice, Nodi Shodhana, alternate breath practice. If you are taking care of your shoulder or you don't like touching your face, just imagine with your mind's eye that you're doing this practice. So the practice is inhaling through the left nostril, exhaling through the right nostril, inhale through the right nostril, and exhale through the left nostril. That's one round. And if you would like to either imagine that or bring your index finger to the space between the brows, cover the right right nostril with the thumb, either underneath or kind of pressing in onto the side. And then inhale through the left nostril. Close the left nostril with whatever finger naturally comes there. Open the right nostril and exhale. Inhale through the right nostril. Close the left nostril. Exhale through the left nostril. Inhale, left side. Close. Open right side and exhale. Inhale, right side. Close. Open left and exhale. And as you continue with this practice, imagine that air flowing into one nostril and up into the opposite side of the brain, flowing out of the opposite nostril, and then in through the right nostril, floating around in the left side of the brain, and then out through the left nostril. And we might be on different timing here. Just imagine, if you will, that as you inhale through the left nostril, the right side of the brain is being stimulated, that creative, restful, parasympathetic nervous system side of the brain, that emotional side. And as we inhale through the right nostril, the left side of the brain is that logical side, that methodical side, the practical side is being stimulated. So inhale, float the air up into the nasal cavity, the brain, and then exhale. And really imagine the path of the breath. Whether you're imagining with your mind's eye or you're using your finger, let's just go ahead and find 3 more full rounds. Letting yourself be the guide, your own timing. And we'll do that in silent stillness, 3 rounds. When you found your 3 rounds, go ahead and release the mudra, the hand mudra, if you had it. Let the palms come down to a comfortable space. Notice your energy. Notice the energy in your hands, your feet. Notice the energy up along your spine and in your heart. Let's inhale, bringing the arms up alongside the ears, bringing the hands together overhead, and exhaling them down to heart center. And then let's release the seat and come all the way back down to our mat. All the way back down to the back. Either just kind of flopping there or rock and rolling up and down the spine, or using the core to let yourself come down and then stretch out nice and long. Let's hug both knees in towards the heart. Invite the nose to the knees if that feels good, and we'll stretch that left leg out long and bring the shoulders and the head back down towards the earth. Really hug that right leg in as you send that left leg out, and then Holding on to that right knee with the left hand, send the right arm out towards the right side. And then as you exhale, draw that right knee across the body over towards the right, getting a nice big twist. Bring that right foot down to the mat or the inside of the left leg or to a block or pillow, just to support that knee. And we'll breathe here into the right side body, maybe taking the left fingertips and massaging along the outside of that right thigh or in the hip or up along the ribs. Again, showing yourself compassion, compassionate touch, allowing yourself to be your own healer here. Allowing that full balance of life to just be part of you. Inhale here, exhale both knees back to center. Maybe making that little ball of yourself to realign the hips and the spine and the neck, and then send the right leg out nice and long, hugging that left knee in. We'll inhale here and then exhale, left arm out to the left, left knee over to the right, bringing the gaze out over that left palm. Maybe you're drawing that left knee towards the earth, or maybe finding a little self-massage here with your fingertips or your knuckles or the heel of your hand, perhaps. Not shying away from any tenderness, any tender areas here, but showing them some gentle love and compassion. Inhaling here and exhaling everything back to center, making as tiny a little ball of yourself as you can. And then exhale here, letting the soles of the feet come together, letting the knees come open from side to side, reclined Baddha Konasana, supine butterfly pose. And just bring the hands to the belly here for a moment. Notice the rise and fall of the belly as you inhale and exhale. And then either stay here for your final Shavasana, or maybe take cactus arms, spreading your arms out from side to side. Or maybe you'd like to interlace the fingers behind the head and kind of rest back on your palms here, mirroring your knees with your elbows. Or perhaps you'd like to come out to full Shavasana, arms and legs extended, taking up space on your mat, allowing yourself to be. Allowing yourself to rest. And then maybe in your mind, maybe out loud, just say to yourself, I am enough. And see how that feels in your body. I am enough, just the way I am. And allow yourself to luxuriate in that feeling of enoughness. Of knowing you are exactly the person you need to be here to be part of this nature of Mother Earth. Just like the praying mantises are, and the sharks are, and the irises are, all of it, all together. And so much now, especially, we all want to do our part to take care of this beautiful planet we call home. But until we can take care of ourselves, it's really hard to do that. You can't really take care of anything besides yourself if you're not taking care of yourself. And there's this adage about a cup of tea and how you need to fill your own cup first. So just imagine that you are a teacup sitting in a beautiful saucer. Beautiful teacup, beautiful saucer. And your teacup is you, all of your self-care, all of your love and compassion, sleep and good food and strong, healthy relationship that all fills up your cup. And when your cup gets full, it overflows down into the saucer. And it is from that saucer that we serve others. And if our cup is not full, then there is nothing in the saucer to serve others with. So let's resolve to be compassionate to ourselves, to give ourselves permission to take care of ourselves, and to, for crying out loud, not feel guilty for that, but to feel like we are serving nature as a whole when we take care of ourselves. Let's take 3 more cleansing breaths wherever you are, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And every time you exhale, just stretch out long on that inhale. And every time you exhale, just let the body flop down to the earth. We'll inhale and stretch and get long. And then exhale, just one more time. Then we'll bring the soles of the feet back to the mat and gently rock the knees from side to side until you've rolled to whatever side serves you best. Coming into that fetal position, taking a moment here to know that you are starting something new today. That you resolve to take care of yourself, to love yourself, to be compassionate and gentle with yourself. And then we'll inhale and press back into a nice tall seat, coming into our Dandasana pose, finishing off in this nice, balanced, straight arms, straight legs, straight spine, tucked chin, lifted heart, beautiful self. Inhale here and exhale, anchoring everything down to the earth. And the next time we inhale, we'll lift the arms up alongside the ears. Maybe looking up towards the sky with a little back bend here. And then exhale, bringing the palms together and down to heart center. And then turning the corners of the mouth up into a small smile, knowing that you have done incredible work for yourself today on your yoga mat. And like I said at the beginning, even just hanging out and breathing is incredible work. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your energy with me today. The light and all the best and all the love that is within me sees, honors, and recognizes all the light and the love and the best that is within you. Take good care. Namaste.